More time. Here we go. Good morning. Happy day 5 of our final day of our 5-day business boot camp. If you're just logging in, my name is Carla. This is Sylvia, and we've been doing this business boot camp now for the last 5 days. Today is our final day. So we called it Ready, Set, Launch because that's what we've been wanting to teach you and encourage you to do is to get ready, to get set, and to launch your business. So Sylvia's going to kick us off, but before we do, she says that I'm really good at recapping. So I'm going to recap, okay? Really quick, okay? We're not going to go into it. You guys can go back and watch all the videos. They're all on YouTube. They're all on our Facebook channel, what's it called? Facebook page.
Yes.
All right, you guys understand me, yeah? All right, so day 1, we talked about, so first, why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're both very, 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 very passionate about health and wellness and in business, about business in the health and wellness industry, okay? So for the last couple of days, what we decided to do was to just launch something. Ideally, we were thinking about women, I'm not gonna lie, but it's been for everyone, okay? So we have a lot of men on here, and thank God you guys logged on because you guys have been giving us great feedback. So day 1 was all about the mindset of a successful and profitable entrepreneur. What does it take to not only be successful, but to actually make a profit? And we went through all the limiting beliefs and all the ups and downs that comes with having a business. Day 2 was all about what is your product and service? What is your passion? What is an alignment with your values and your passion? Your product should be in alignment with your values and your passion because business is up and down. And if you're not willing to drive, to, go through the waves of life and waves of business, it's going to be hard. Okay. So that was day 2. Day 3 was all about what is your brand? Okay. What is your brand? And how do you want to come across in the world? And how do you want people to perceive you? And what are you committed to when it comes to your brand? And then yesterday we talked all about marketing and what is the value that you bring to the marketplace, and really being understanding of the value that you bring is also in proportion with your core values and your passion and your purpose. So we've been just laying one thing after another. And today we are talking about launching your business, okay? What does it take to just launch? And speaking of launching, look at this.
So look what I just got. So this is like heaven on earth, you guys. Look at this. Oh my God. So can you believe that this is what I have for breakfast?
And is it healthy, girl?
It's soup. So you guys, I mean,
what's in it?
I'm speechless. So we have our Formula 1 shake, which I think is going to be, for this one, is a churro shake. I never even had a churro in like 10 years.
I was going to say, you never had a churro. I was going to say, so then we got problems.
10 years. But I'm going to tell you guys, this is what I have for breakfast every day. So I had a protein drink this morning, but this is a meal replacement shake. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to have this? This thing is delicious.
And while she's having that, type on the chat, what is my favorite product?
Oh, yeah.
Someone tell me. What is my favorite product of all time? Right here.
Amazing.
It's called CR7 and Liftoff, okay? So this is the love of my life after my husband and my child is CR7 because if you guys don't know, I have a pretty intense personality. Okay, and this product makes me feel good. It gives me energy, but it doesn't. Yes, Yolanda, see, everyone's putting CR7. Yes, this is my favorite product. I love it. Everything saying CR7. Yes, so that's what I'm drinking. CR7. You can drink CR7 with anything. I'm drinking CR7 with Liftoff because it gives you.
Drink it hot.
Yeah, well, girl, I drink it hot. I haven't put it in my shake yet. Okay, but I've had it hot with collagen and tea. I'll drink it in my bikini drink. I'll drink it in everything. So I've had a very interesting morning, okay? And Sylvia I think she could feel my energy. Like I don't play good poker, okay? Like I don't have a good poker face.
Neither do I.
Yeah. And no, you don't. She walked in the other day at my house. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no, she's not. Anyway, so this, I was like, I need some CR7 because it just, I don't know how people go, I don't drink it. I'm like, how do you live without it? There's no caffeine. My son drinks it once in a while. It's just amazing. But anyway, this is what, cheers, girl.
Yes, cheers to our day 5. Yeah, you know what I kind of feel, I just have to say this. You know, life has been so, and I hate this word because everyone's talking about it, uncertain, right? So much uncertainty going on.
But isn't
right
it
now.
always uncertain? Sylvia?
Yes, that's my point where I'm about to say
okay.
life is so uncertain, especially as an entrepreneur. And being that this is a business boot camp, if you don't like uncertainty, you're not going to be a good entrepreneur. Okay? Because life as an entrepreneur is like you wearing like shorts, like what I'm wearing underneath here. I got a whole outfit that you would crack up if you saw me.
Hey, the other day, I think it was day 3, I had some red shorts on, and I got a beautiful coat jacket. BCBG, props to that company. I love it. And then I got up, and you guys all, nobody said anything, but thank you for that. But you know, you guys know that's how it is. Like I actually got jeans on today.
Yeah.
But normally from the waist down, it's a whole nother story.
Well, same here. And so the reason I point that out, you guys, is because entrepreneurship is that way. It is not the same every single day. It's not like when you go to a job and you know you're going to get a paycheck at the end of those 2 weeks or whenever it is you get a paycheck. Entrepreneurship requires another level of mindset. Now, can you develop that mindset? Absolutely. And that's kind of what we've been talking about this whole time. But I want to say in days like today, or if in entrepreneurship, you really have to dig deep and count your blessings, because you always got to look on the bright side. You know, business is up and down, and hopefully it's mostly up, right? But just like life, like I would be a liar to sit here and tell you that life is just good and that I'm happy every day. That is not true. Like this whole quarantine, I've had to have my son with me, who's 3 years old. Sometimes I'm doing videos, I'm doing calls. My son is in the background. I'm like, stop it. I'm like pinching him, grabbing him. Like, I'm like, stop it. And trying to give him the phone. And it hasn't been easy, right? And then on top of that, if you're in a relationship, now you've been quarantined with your partner, God forbid, like there's a lot of stuff going on, right? And so, you know, but you know what I tell myself? Like, what's new? That's business. Business is the same way. And the way I always say this is embrace the challenges, like run toward them. Like for me is an opportunity, like there's always an opportunity. And as we go into this topic of launching, is the type of questions you ask. Okay, I'm going to tell you something my mentor told me a long time ago when I got into the Herbalife business. And then I kind of disappeared for several years. Okay, but this is what he told me when I met him. We were working at the office one day, and I was like, what's wrong with people? Okay, this was 10 years ago, 2010. I said, what's wrong with people? How come people aren't self-motivated? Like, and I was like, you know, because I was self-motivated, right? And I'm like, why aren't people self-motivated? Don't they want to have a good life? Like, why? And he was like, don't ask those low-level questions. Okay, this is my mentor. And I'm like, low-level questions? What does that mean? Low vibration questions. Because if you ask those types of questions to the universe, you're going to get those answers, like really dumb answers, right? So it's like asking that question of why me? Why does this always happen to me? Low vibration. I think I talked about this the other day, but I say that to say is that a business mindset requires, it's different than your regular mindset. Okay. Anyone can have it. Anyone can develop it. And as we go into this topic of launching, we want to keep in mind that business perspective, that uncertainty is normal in business. Changes happen on a daily basis. And I want to know what Carla thinks about that.
Yeah, I think everything you just said was dead on. So, so here's the thing, right? So one of the things I heard this the other day, and that is, if you want to write this down, okay? And that is that intelligence is somebody who's willing to adapt. An intellectual person, somebody who is intelligent, has the ability to adapt, okay? So as we're going into today, and that is how we're gonna launch, how you're gonna launch something, whatever it is, okay? One of the things you need to keep in mind is that you gotta write this down. I see some people, I'm not gonna put you on blast, okay? I was gonna say her name. Let's call her Mary, okay? I'm gonna, Flower, I'm gonna call her Flower. Some of you guys, and you know who you are, I know how intelligent you are, like ridiculously intelligent, okay? Meaning like you're very smart, you're very bright, you know a lot, you know a lot, you know a lot. You can like make things happen. And you can sometimes, some of you guys on here, you can make things happen for others, but you won't, I'm not saying you can't, but you won't make it happen for yourself. Okay? And so that is, if you didn't hear the call, I think it was call one and two, we really, she especially, really drilled into how you impose your self-limiting beliefs on others. So if you're asking like, why can I get customers? Why can I not do this? Why is this happening to me? Why? And your questions are very, like she said, low vibrational questions, then you're gonna get your brain, I don't know if you guys know this, but your brain will never say, no, Flower, that's not how it is. You actually can't. If you say, why can't I do this? Your brain's gonna go, okay, let me tell you all the reasons why you can't. And it's gonna give you all these reasons, and they're real reasons. Well, in the past, you've never finished anything. When you were 12 years old, your mother told you couldn't do anything. Your teacher never believed, and you're gonna have all these reasons why you can't. Okay, so your brain is never gonna be like, oh no, Carla, yes, you're capable. Okay, so when you're launching something, you need to know, you must know that it's not always, actually, it is never gonna go like you think it's gonna go. It is never gonna turn out the way you want it to turn out. It is never going to go exactly as you say. Now, will the outcome be there? Yes, absolutely. So for example, let's say I say, okay, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna go to San Francisco and I'm gonna take the 101, right? You don't know if, and it's just gonna be a smooth ride. No, it's not. Because there's other people on the road. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of variables. So will you still get there? Absolutely. As long as you don't get off the road, as long as you don't stop driving, you will arrive to your destination. It's just not gonna go exactly as you say it will, or exactly as you think it will. Okay, now, why I say that, and some of you guys are probably thinking, what about the law of attraction, all this other stuff? I'm talking about, for example, if I am gonna control 100% how I feel, then yes, it's gonna go as I say it's gonna go. But when I'm talking about business, and with business comes people, and with people comes variety, with people comes uncertainty, okay? So for example, right before this call, I've had a lot on my mind. Like I don't know, like I feel really weird. So before the call, now I have to say how I'm gonna go. I go, okay, Carla, this is it, and it's perfect. From nothing, who I am, and I declare myself, and I'm gonna go as I say I'm gonna go. That's different, okay? I'm not saying that things are not gonna go as you say. Don't misinterpret my words. I'm saying things are not business. Business is not always gonna look like you want it to look. It's not always gonna be how you want it to be, because you've got variables, and they're called human beings. So if you can just understand that, okay? For example, right now we have a 15-day challenge, and we're gonna invite every single one of you, okay, to join us. It's only $15 and you're going to get online workouts. You're going to get a manual. You're going to get a digital manual with recipes and meal plans. You're going to get empowerment calls with Sylvia every Sunday. You're going to get empowerment calls with my coach, Olga. You're going to get her coach teaching classes, her boyfriend, Mike teaching classes. You have 6 different instructors. You're going to get a whole online community. You're going to get, we're going to announce something at the end, okay? You're going to get all kinds of things for $15, okay? Now, right now, the challenge, we've had several challenges. Not, even though we have planned it and everything, not one of them has been as we think it's going to be, because we got 300, 200 people in there. So it's always unexpected, right? So if you can write that down, I must learn to adapt. You got to learn to adapt. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing I want you to write down is I must learn to be agile. Okay, those two things are a must when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Okay, so if you don't know, do you know what agile means?
I know. I have another word, and you could tell me if this is right or wrong.
Okay.
I want to give a little example because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Is
that's so funny. So you guys, we never planned.
No, we don't.
We know what we're gonna do. We talked last night, but I never want to know what she's gonna say because then it's not natural, right? Yes. I'm already in.
So agile for me is what I tell my clients. So I'm gonna give you a good example. I have a brand new mom, right? She's an entrepreneur, runs a really big business, and she's used to, before she had her baby, she would work out at 5 a.m. Okay. This is a good example. I want you to pay attention. So she would work out at 5 a.m. and then go to her office, start her day, and go on about her life. Now she has a brand new baby. Life is different now. Guess what? She's been breastfeeding. She can't go do her workouts at 5 a.m. anymore. So she stopped working out completely. Now she's frustrated, tired, everything, because she's not taking care of herself the way she used to. Months go by. The baby turns 1. She's like, Sylvia, I just can't do it because I used to work out in the morning. So guess what happened? She closed herself off to flexibility, to being agile. Let's reframe this situation and let's think about it. So it finally ended up being that we transitioned her mindset from now, instead of working out in the morning, she works out at night. Okay. So the thing about that is, you gotta remain flexible in your approach, especially in business. You have to stay flexible. You have to know that the way things were, like when you go to a job, the way things are when you go to school, in business, it is never gonna be that way. Even just as simple, even if you run a solo business, is just not. If you want to be have success in many areas, you have to be flexible, because it's easy to continue to run your business, but let go and drop the ball on your health. Why? Because now you're devoting 15 hours a day to your business, but what about you? Now you got to keep that flexibility in your business. So now you have a business, but now you don't have time for your family. Well, how do you do that? You gotta remain flexible. And that is, as we talk about launch, one of the biggest things is, what type of systems and processes are you gonna have in place? So how are you gonna structure your day now? Because maybe you still have
write those questions down, you guys. So I encourage you to not just listen, because I think a lot of the times people listen and then they're like, wait, what'd she say? Right? So write these questions down and give me a yes before you go into those points. If you haven't gotten something to write with, write it down, because we're gonna tell you. So we wanted to first tell you the mindset that you need in order to launch your business, right? Now we're gonna go into the steps. So if you don't have something to write with, go grab it now, okay? And if you guys are here on one of the platforms, if what she just said resonated with you, I know it resonated with me. I was I completely for a year and a half I hardly worked out. I still hardly work out, right? Because it went from my son, he was my job, breastfeeding and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, I was exhausted. I was like, if I had any time to sleep, I wouldn't even sleep. I would work. They're like, you sleep when he sleeps. I'm like, are you kidding me? When he sleeps, I get things done. So I was so sleep deprived, okay? And the last thing I wanted to do, to be honest with you, was work out. I was like, I'd rather work than work out, okay? Now, once my son was like in daycare and had a nanny and school and whatever you want to call it, now I'm like, I have all this time. But I got out of the rhythm. How many of you guys can relate? Say me. Type me on the comments if that is if you feel like, yes, you know what? Maybe I went from having my child as my priority to now I'm doing my business and now my business is my priority. So, you know, I want you guys, if something's resonating, let us know on the comments, because I think other women or other people that are here watching with us, they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not the only one that's feeling this way. Okay. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, because here we go. Step one. Go ahead, Sylvia.
So the thing is, what systems are you going to have in place? Okay. So I'm going to give you an example about mine, but maybe yours is going to be different. Maybe you have a full-time job and you're trying to launch your business on the side, right? So now you have like a busy schedule, but you want to have this thing you want to launch on the side. The way that would look like for me, if I'm coaching a client, is, okay, we're going to have to set some systems in place. Maybe you're a mom. Like, I work with a lot of moms who go to full-time jobs and also have a business on the side. What that looks like is that mom for sure has to wake up way before her kids wake up. Okay. Hands down. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. Okay. But like I say, if you are not willing to do the uncomfortable, then you can't have a business. Stay to your job. Stay with your job. Because,
no, it's true. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's so true. You guys, we cannot sugarcoat this.
Yeah, because you're going to live like in a denial.
And I think right now, Sylvia, so many people are like, entrepreneurship today is so cool. So it's like a trend. And a lot of times people hear about like the YouTube sensational, whatever, however you say it, the guy that went crazy rich over YouTube. And I watch these people and I like TikTok, and I'm like, I don't even know, like there's like I don't even know, okay? But it's like, and so sometimes we think are there overnight successes? Absolutely. But let me tell you something, and I'm not wishing bad upon anyone, but that's what they are. They're overnight successes, and eventually they will no longer be the trend if they don't adapt, if they don't evolve.
Right.
Okay, like Madonna, for example, she's such a great example, whether you like her or not. She has evolved with the time.
Yep.
Okay, so what she's saying is so key. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, two choices. Number one, they choose something else. But if you really are like, no, like I'm not comfortable with the uncomfortable, but I'm willing to step into that. And I'm not telling you to be like me, like the first call, I jump in the water and I'm like, oh my God, somebody help me. I'm not telling you to be like that unless you are like that, right? But maybe it's like, okay, let me put my foot in.
Yeah,
okay.
You groom yourself into that position.
Okay? Exactly.
You groom yourself into that, and anyone can do it. You're not like necessarily born.
You're not a tree, Jim Rohn says.
Exactly. Yes, you're not a tree. You could groom yourself into that position, there's also a process into that, is who you surround yourself with, the books you're reading. If this is like your first business, you gotta read business books. You gotta attend business seminars. You gotta watch YouTube on business. But so the first thing is going to be, what systems are you going to set in place? So for this particular mom that I'm using an example, is she's going to have to wake up before her kids wake up, because now she has to plan her day. She has to get the kids ready, go to work, and then in between, like now the hour that she had for lunch, more than likely that she used to sit there and probably scroll on Instagram, is not going to be used for that anymore, because she has her passion on the side here that she is going to devote that extra time on, right? So
you know what I heard somebody once say? They said, I do my business like an egg muffin. Is that what you call the one that you put the jelly on? English
English muffin.
English muffin.
Mhm.
I do my business like an English muffin. I was like, what's that mean?
Mhm.
In the cracks
Yeah, of your day.
of the day.
Right? So what that happens is now that woman now at lunch, you know, she's gonna eat her lunch. It doesn't take you a full hour to eat your lunch. And now she's
Have
gonna
a
use
shake.
have that 5 minutes. Then you're gonna pretty much use some of that time to either, you know, contact whoever you need to contact, make connections, connect with your coworkers about your new, you know, business that you're launching. You're excited because now you're working on something. Then now let's say it's time to go home, and now you gotta go home, you know, feed the family, spend time with your kids, and this is the point that I call the second wind. The second
This is when you
wind.
need CR7 and lift.
Absolutely. Okay. And I'm sorry, again, if you can't, like, if you have a hard time thinking if sleep is more about, and I'm not saying like don't sleep. I'm in fitness.
This
and I'm
is
in health.
your personal philosophy.
Yes, this is my personal philosophy, okay? But it's a philosophy that helped my business go from 0 to 6 figures in 1 year. So what I'm gonna say is, when you're done with your family, I put my son on a schedule at 8:30. He's in bed. Period. I don't care what you say. I'm still hungry. No, you already ate. You're going to bed. 8:30. But what happens at that time is I go back to my computer and I go to work for the next 3 hours. Okay. Does it happen every single time? No. Okay. It doesn't. But for the most part, a big commitment of my life is that. Do I remain flexible? Because sometimes we're doing other things change. Do I remain flexible? Absolutely. Do I tell myself like, oh, the world fell apart. Now I didn't work on my business today. Oh, now I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to succeed. No, you just, now the next day comes and you do it again. Okay. One of the biggest things that I've noticed with women, and I say women, I don't know about men, but I know for women per se, is they feel out of control, especially right now during the quarantine, is dividing themselves in so many different ways, like being a mom, being a partner, being a entrepreneur. Is like you're going crazy. And the reason why that happens, because there's no structure in that day. Okay, there's no structure. So the way that I structured my, and this is so important because you could still run a profitable business and be with your family and work out and take care of yourself and look and feel your best. You can actually do that, but you have to commit to that structure. For us, it was like in the afternoon, I already knew during this whole quarantine, me and my family, that's our time. We'd go to the park, we would go outside, play ball. Both of us, with my boyfriend, my son, we would set a chunk of hours. Then a chunk of hours at night was for work, and a chunk of hours in the morning was for work. And then at night, once it was like 9:30, 10, I know now it's time for me and my partner. That's when we connect, when we sit down and we talk about everything. So my days would go long, right? That's okay. That was the structure I created to have the business that I want and be able to have time, freedom, flexibility with my family. So you need to create a structure that works for you. That structure is going to look different for everyone. What do you think?
So awesome. No, I think it's great. I think, staying adaptable and staying flexible. Okay. So just in summary. Okay. So number one, you got to create systems, and systems doesn't always mean like 1, 2, 3, but it does mean you have a flow.
Yes.
You have a flow, okay? And again, that's why it's so funny that she's talking about this. I didn't even know she was going to talk about that, which is, I personally believe that an entrepreneur, you need to have adaptability, and you need to be flexible. You need to be agile. And then here she talks about that, right? So give me I get it if you understand where we're coming from, okay? So type on the chat, I get it. Like, yes, I get it. I got to create a flow. Maybe you don't have one, okay, right now. But one of the things I'm going to tell you is somebody put on this chat, very true. I studied for my state test during my lunch break, and it worked for my favor. So here's the thing. When something's important to you, you're going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was up till almost 2 a.m. last night because I have a lot on my mind, okay? As some things are not oh, things are not going like I want them to go. And so I could freak out. I'm not going to lie. I did. And then I took a deep breath. Okay. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you what my flow is. Okay. I always ask, like, what am I going to do? 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 Because me asking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? My brain starts giving me ideas.
Yep.
So again, today it's all about launching. When you launch, it's so important. You got to be adaptable. You got to be flexible. And I say got to because you really do. Otherwise, you're going to get very frustrated, okay? And you want to create systems. Now, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to give you my own personal philosophy on, I agree pretty much with everything she said. My flow, my day doesn't look like hers. Okay, of course, because everyone's different, right? Your flow is going to look different. But my flow, especially because I'm in a different stage in my business. But let me tell you how it looked when I started. First, let me tell you what happened. I started my business right out of college. Okay, I graduated from USC. And I worked for a company for a whole 3 months. And I was like, this sucks. Now, this is my personal, okay? Like, everyone's different, okay? I just couldn't do it. Now, I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I have supportive parents. So the cards I was dealt with allowed me to quit my job and go and move in with my parents. Okay, I was 23 years old. And I just, like I said, this was the time. And so what I did is I worked 18 hours a day. I worked all day long. So I'm gonna go over something that I feel very passionate about, and that is the stages of an entrepreneur. This is your little bonus, okay? The stages of an entrepreneur. And this is all gonna make sense when it comes to the launching, but I want to contribute something to you. I want you to not only launch, but I also want to set you up in case this is the last time we see each other, which I hope not, okay? But in case this is the last time we see each other, I want to give you a framework on how I'm going to invite you to think about business in the future. So when you're starting your business, although you need to have systems, although you need to have a flow, one of the things you must understand is that you are in the first stage of business. And that is you are hustling. You're hustling. Okay, so I'm just gonna be real. This is my personal philosophy. You can think of whatever you want, okay? In the stage of a hustler, there isn't a lot of flexibility, or I shouldn't say that. There isn't a lot of time for luxury recreational stuff, in my personal experience, okay? Because I wanted a multi-million-dollar business. I literally would say, I am building $1 million business. I am building $1 million business. I was 23 years old and I was broke. I had no money, but I heard that somewhere. And I loved the idea of being able to have $1 million business. I had no idea what that was going to look like or what it was going to take. But what I did was that I hate to use the word sacrifice. I don't know what other word to use though, but like I gave up. I chose to not entertain in things like my friends would be like, we're going to Miami. Do you think I wanted to go to Miami? Absolutely, I wanted to go to Miami. I was 23 years old. But what was a priority for me at that time, your priorities are going to change, okay? But I'm sure there's people here that don't have kids, and I don't want you to feel like I felt. When I was starting my business, I would hear all these moms talk about their kids, and I would be like, I don't have children, so like, I don't get it, right? So I want to also give you a different perspective. So when I launched my business, I was like, all I could think about, breathe, eat, talk, sleep, everything was, how am I going to make this grow? How am I going to make this grow? How am I going to make this grow? So because I kept asking those types of questions, my brain thought of all kinds of answers. So when you're a hustler, you don't want to stay there, okay? But I personally do believe you all have to start there, okay? You all have to start there, hustling, the times, the marketing, the branding, doing the uncomfortable, getting your message out there. Yesterday, we were sharing with you how her and I owned a nutritional club, and we would be out there with clipboards, getting people's numbers, inviting them to our club, putting flyers out there, and here's the thing. If your ego, if you cannot put your personal pride aside, okay? Because you think I graduated from USC. Do you think I wanted to be putting posters on or flyers on posters?
We used to get like people used to like yell at us, and men would drive and whistle at us like.
And I was like, great, kabbalah shake. So, and so if you're not willing to do that, you guys, some people think business is, how do you say it? Like a luxury, like it's a luxury, like, oh, it's so cool. Oh my God, you get to travel. Or like, for example, I was listening to this guy, he has a Lamborghini Aventador, something like that's a $500,000 car, $500,000 car. And he said that people say, oh, must be nice. I'm not going to say what he said because he cusses a lot. But he was like, I rolled down the window and I told the guy, are you talking about the 17 years that I didn't sleep? The 17 years that I was hustling, I was marketing, I was putting my personal time aside? Are you talking about the 17 years that people sued me, went against me? Are you talking about for the last 17 years, I didn't give up on my dream while you were going to work from 9 to 5, got home, got to watch Netflix with your family while I was hustling he went off. And I was like, yes. Because so many times we see like the Shakiras of the world or the J-Los of the world, right? Or whoever. And we are like, wow. But you don't realize all the years they put in the hustling stages, getting rejected, having people say no. We already talked about that 2 weeks ago, 2 classes ago, how when people say no, yesterday, I'm sorry, it's just that they don't value at that moment what you're offering. It has nothing to do with you. So number 1 is your hustler stage. This is a time that you are grinding. You are doing it. And again, I'm going to say this, your decisions will not be the most popular ones. And let me just advise you right now. Sometimes your biggest haters are going to be your friends and family because they have you a certain way, like they think of you a certain way. And all of a sudden you're changing. All of a sudden you're driven. All of a sudden you're focused. All of a sudden you are you're going after your dreams. And a lot of the times why they don't like that is because even though they don't know this, unconsciously, they're like a little envious because they wish they had the drive that you had. Look, I say this with a lot of humbleness, okay? For these last 3 months, since this whole quarantine thing happened, my business has gone up like crazy, okay? Like crazy. And thank God, my immediate family, my brothers, my parents, are all in the same business. So they understand. But even though they understand, my oldest brother, who loves me and is so supportive, I told him, hey, I'm going to go up there to see my mom. And I literally had to tell him, don't worry. I finished all my work. I'm going to spend the entire weekend with you guys. Oh, okay. I see, boy. I'll go see you. Okay? Because it's not comfortable for them to see me working 24/7, to see me working. So I'm in the hustler stage. Now, from there, type a 1 on the chat if that makes sense, okay? From there, you're going to go to the second phase. Now, this takes time, and it takes a lot of, not a lot, but yeah, actually it does. It takes a lot of planning. It takes strategy, and that is you're going into the entrepreneur stage. This entrepreneur now is putting systems in place. Is now thinking like, okay, things are moving, things are rolling. Because see, right now, maybe you haven't launched anything because you don't know, when am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? So just start. Whatever, just start. Be like, I don't know how it's going to look. Just start. And as you're going, you're going to find a flow. Like, okay, lunchtime, my 15-minute breaks. Okay, I'm going to go do this. Okay, after work, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you start planning out your day. Now you're going to start thinking about how you can operate as an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur, so the hustler is a solo wolf. They're out there by themselves because you got nothing. You're just starting. Okay, you need to be okay with that. Which, by the way, I want you to say something about this, Sylvia, because I know she feels strong about this. When you're in hustler, when you're hustling, please write this down. I need community.
Mhm.
Being an entrepreneur, in case you don't know this, it is a lonely world. Look at last night. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna lie. I was taking a shower. I really wanted to just cry. Okay, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I really wanted to cry because I'm like a little burned out. Okay, I've been going hard for 3 months, and my husband's super supportive with what's happening right now in my business. But I put my son to sleep, and then and then I got out of the shower, and Sergio was really tired, and he's like, "All right, babe, I'm gonna go to bed." And I could have gone to sleep, but I was like, "This is my time right now. I got it." I was in the shower, just like I'm super like things are not going like I want them to go. So I was really frustrated, and so I got out of the shower, and I said, "Okay, babe," I said, I'm gonna do some work." He's like, "Okay," and he went to sleep, and I went into my office all by myself till 2 in the morning. Okay, so now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Come the 15th of this month, when Herbalife drops my check, I'm gonna be like, okay, it was worth it. But when I'm sitting in the frustration,
Yeah.
it's not easy. Okay. So when you're in hustler stage and you're launching your business, you guys got to connect with the community, because you're going to have days like I had last night.
Mhm.
And if you don't have people around you, it's going to be really hard to keep going. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to, and I mean, unless you are so resilient, I mean, I don't even know, but unless you're so resilient that you can do it regardless. I don't know. I don't know any successful entrepreneur, and I know a lot of them, that have ever done it alone. So I know Sylvia feels so strong, which is another reason why we want to invite you to this 15-day challenge. By the way, guys, we get nothing, like we don't get a direct, like we don't get a toaster if you join, okay? Like we don't get anything. Like and the $15 all goes into a pot that we give away, all kinds of raffles and gifts and all that kind of stuff. Nobody keeps that money. But we're doing it because it, we should keep that money. But we're doing it because we know, maybe not so much now, but we knew at the times the community needed us, right? So, but when you're in Hustler, you must have community. You gotta have people around you. Now, I'm gonna have you talk about that, but let me just finish my thought here. Then you go into the second stage, and that is you become an entrepreneur. Now, as an entrepreneur, you start to think, okay, all right, I need community. I need people to help me. I need a team. And now you're starting to see value in systems. You're starting to see value in having people help and support you. Okay. Then from there, now that takes time. This is not what it's about today, but I wanted to give you that framework. Then there is the next stage, which is when you're a CEO. Now that takes time. And a CEO is only interested in one thing, and that is, everything I do, does it make sense? They ask themselves one question, and one question only is, every time they're about to do something, they ask, does this affect the bottom line? Will this decision or this action or this system or whatever, is that going to make me more profitable? That's the role of a CEO. Now, right now, y'all just need to launch something. But I didn't, in case this is the last time we see you, I don't want to just leave you with just launch. Like, now what do I do? I want you to think that in the future, it's going to get better. It's going to get easier, okay, smoother, I don't know. And then eventually, if you continue to grow and build, you'll turn into a CEO, where now your sole job, you have a team of people, is just to make sure the business grows and that it affects the bottom line. So in conclusion, we're all starting with the hustler stage. And when you're a hustler, you got to put in the time. You got to make those sacrifices. You got to put systems in place. And please write this down. If you can say one thing from your launch class today, is you need to have a community, because you're not going to know everything.
Yes. Oh my God. Ooh, that was a lot and pretty amazing. I learned a couple really good points from that. I love that. Does this affect the bottom line? the hustle phase. And you know, Carla, like that is 100% true. And the thing about it is sometimes you won't even notice that that's what's happening, you know. You won't even notice the phases, but you'll notice that you're outgrowing certain phases.
Like you're naturally evolving from one
Exactly.
thing to the next. So one of the reasons why I'm really frustrated right now is because I'm in that transition.
Yeah, and transitions, you guys, can be extremely painful because they're usually gonna ask you to grow. They're gonna ask you to think outside the box. They're gonna require, and this goes back to the community piece that Carla was talking about, okay? Now, it's important that, for instance, you know, whenever I've had like a situation and I know like my community, who's my community of people that I could reach out to. It's not gonna be just anybody, okay? There's particular people, right? Carla's one of them that throughout all of the years of our friendship, whether it's been like stuff that has to do with like relationships, business, the kids, like she's one of those that I can go and talk to her, right? And same for her, you know? But if you don't have that community and you're going through a transition in your mind, sometimes what happens in a transition is because you're in it, you don't see outside and you can't see clearly. It's like you keep going through the same idea in your head over and over until a new perspective comes in. And it's important to really know, like, let's say you are in the phase 1 of the hustle phase and you have this great idea of starting your own health and wellness business. And then suddenly what happens is you go and you're trying to get your first client to be your sister. And you're like, hey, you know, I'm launching this business and I want to help you get in the best shape of your life and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, you're going to get into health and wellness? Are you kidding me? Like, you like to do this on the weekend and I've seen you eating those fries. And then what happens is doubt and fear creeps in, right? And you're like, she's right. Like, who am I to want to launch this business? Like, yeah, she's right. Like, I barely started learning about health and nutrition. What makes me think that I could go change someone's life?
Especially if you're somebody who values stability.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. I have encountered that a lot with my clients, like women that really come from a background of corporate America. They've like a lot of my clients are women who have graduated from universities. I even coach women who have PhDs, and I'm gonna tell you, the big part of where someone tends to get stuck is because they value stability so much. So the minute that they feel the rug is getting pulled from beneath their feet, they don't want that feeling because it's so scary. Transition is very scary, right? So this is why community, coaches, mentors are probably going to be one of the best things that you could have in your business. But on that note is pay attention to where it comes.
The best thing you can invest in, you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the way that I like to say that is fitness is the easiest thing. If you are in a community, okay, I've noticed this hands down with clients. I could train a client one-on-one. She's gonna start complaining. Oh, that's too hard. Oh, I can't do that exercise. Oh, my back hurts. But then you know what I did a long time ago? I stopped taking one-on-ones. I put them in a group. Women are so competitive. So competitive. She sees Mary over here busting her butt. She's not gonna give a care that her back is like hurting. She's not, because now she doesn't want to seem like the weak one next to Mary and next to Sophia over here. So she's gonna push herself. The reason why a container of a community is so important because nobody wants to be left behind. And whenever you feel like there's no solution, trust me, in that container, you're going to find people who are going through the exact same thing or very similar scenario than you are. The day that you write in that community, I wanted to quit today. I went to eat with my coworkers. They all wanted to eat tacos and I still stuck to my healthy plan. guess what's gonna happen is your community, the supportive community, someone's gonna pop up and show their salad that they're having for lunch, and your phone is gonna go off, and you're gonna be like, oh crap, or you maybe thought of, I'm gonna go home and lay down tonight and watch Netflix, but then Mary's over there and she's like, about to go run, you guys. I'll post back when I finish, and now you're like, crap, I better go do my workout. Same is with your business.
Which is why I want to stop you for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's so important that not only do you have community, but that you plug in to the community. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times, and say me if this is you, okay, you all better put me, because I know you all have experienced this, have purchased a video, workout video, have purchased something to help you get the result you want, whatever it is, if it's in business or in your personal life or whatever, your fitness, and you never even open the package. I'm guilty of that. Or you buy a manual or a handbook and you're like, this is a meal plan. Yeah. And then you never even, maybe you kind of look at it, but you never even go grocery shopping for it, okay? So not only do you want to have a community, but you want to plug into the community. So for example, we have a community in this 15-day challenge inside Telegram in English and inside Facebook in Spanish. Pero de qué sirve, how do you say that in English? Like, what good does it do if you're in that community, but you never go in it? You never check, you never contribute. So what she just said is so true, that maybe you want to do something not, you're so cute. You are so cute. Somebody just messaged, rebuilt strawberry shortcake is now available. I love you, Yolanda. Anyway, so one of the things you want to understand is that you can have a community, but if you're not plugging in, if you're not opening the chat, then the community is not going to serve you. So don't let the community be like that video that you purchased, but it's sitting on your shelf that you never even put it inside your, back in the days, DVD or VHS, right? How many of you guys, I know I do, have those types of videos. So when she's talking about community and plugging in, it's not just important for you to be in there, but for you to be actively engaged, because they cannot contribute to somebody. Like I said in a couple of days ago, if you don't open your hand, the universe wants to give you things, but if you don't open your hand, then it's gonna be very challenging for you to catch anything or you to have anything. Okay, so for those of you who want to go into the 15-day $15 health and fit, we're calling it buns and guns, okay, challenge, make sure you don't only pay the $15 and go, okay, well, I checked the box. No, be involved.
I want to say something about that, okay? Because I almost, sometimes I get mad, you guys. This is like my issue. I get mad. I get mad because I had someone tell me the other day, I paid $15 and I got this like workouts like every other day. Now we're doing workouts every day, okay? But I'm gonna say this, okay? And to me, it was like, are you kidding me? So they're like, I'm getting, 3 workouts a week, but what else am I getting like every day and blah, blah, blah. Like it was like more of a complaint, right? And I am very much open to feedback, okay? There's a difference. I'm not saying don't be open to feedback. But my point of the matter is that you're having this particular challenge had about 300 people in it. And let me tell you, a lot of the clients got amazing results. We're talking about 13 pounds lost in 2 weeks. We're talking about 7 pounds lost in 2 weeks. We're talking about energy through the roof. We're talking about people feeling better than ever. Sylvia, emotionally stable. Like Sylvia, thank you. Thanks you guys for this community during the quarantine. It like saved me. But you have this person that has, and this is a mindset, you guys, who does not participate, who does not contribute, and things like the video is gonna change your life. Like, no.
Hey, somebody just wrote that they bought this video. They bought Look Better Naked book and workout, and it's still sitting on her shelf.
Yes.
Thank you for your honesty.
Like that, the thing, like the chat is not going to be the one that's going to change your life, is you participating in the chat on a daily basis, is you putting that what is in there into action. Like if someone posts, or like we have calls, you know, certain days of the week, but if you never go on those calls and you're like, well, I didn't get anything out of the chat. Well, hold up. Let me ask you, were you contributing? Were you in those videos? Were you doing the workout video? Were you contributing? Were you posting your meals? Were you using the accountability? That's why the chat is there, for accountability, right? If we don't create a chat to just so you could just see things like popping up. No, we ask you, we invite you, for accountability is key. And I'm going to say this as you launch whatever, you know, business you're going to get into, is that the number one reason, okay? And for me, this is the number one reason why most people don't achieve the things they want. They don't have accountability. They don't have anyone who asks them to step up or says, why aren't you stepping up? I see your full potential. I see your full potential and you're not maximizing. We're used to someone sugarcoating and saying, oh yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, you know, my sister called me the other day and she's like, do you think I need to lose weight? And then I'm like, well, you know, me being nice to my sister, I'm like, no, you look fine. And then my boyfriend knows that. He was like, you know, your sister gained weight, right? And you know that you should have told her the truth, because that's why she asked you. Like, what type of sister are you being to her if you're just lying to her? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I just don't want to deal with it, you know? But it hit me. How am I supporting my own sister? I do it for my clients, right? But I couldn't do it for her. So the number one reason, and a lot of us don't want to hear the accountability. We don't want the accountability. But it goes back to that, as you launch your business, as you engage in these communities, the best way to get any result in your business is moving from a 5 to a 7, which means from, remember we talked about that yesterday, not being in a 5 or a 7. Oh my God, it's a minute left. But being a 10. Okay, so I'll give it back to Carla so she could close off and invite you guys to the challenge so you guys could see what we're talking about.
Yeah, so you guys, so here's the thing, right? We want to invite you because as we're doing this, it's a health and wellness, you know, business boot camp, because that's all we know how to do. Well, not really, but you know, that's what we do. I shouldn't say that, because I coach entrepreneurs. I teach women entrepreneurs with the program at USC. If you guys are, it's a multicultural program, and we meet every month on a Friday, and I teach from 9 to 5 on Zoom. It's crazy. I've been doing that now for 6 years. And then I know Sylvia also coaches a lot of elite women. So we know how to launch all types of businesses, but because this is what we're passionate about, we love health and fitness and all that stuff. We invite you to join us if you want to. Okay. Now you are going to get together with the person that invited you to this and let them know too. Okay. So you are going to have a lot of coaches. There's a whole community inside Telegram. And again, like she said, and I want you to ask yourself, if you guys can just give me one extra minute, I want you to ask yourself one thing. And I want you to ask yourself this, because how you are in one area of your life, you're pretty much in all the areas of your life. I want you to ask yourself, am I someone that is always just taking? Okay. There's nothing wrong with taking. Okay. But am I someone that's always only taking? Or am I someone that likes to receive, but also likes to give? And I say this because join us with the 15-day challenge. But I'm going to invite you to put into action everything we've been teaching you. If you're interested in the health and wellness, and you're already working with us inside of Herbalife Nutrition, you guys could totally use this to help your business. Like, I don't mind. We don't mind. Okay, you can totally use this to launch to help your business. If you're not inside of Herbalife Nutrition and you're curious, again, open your hand. Okay. If you're curious, we'll send you some information and you could see if this is something you would like to be involved in. And this platform of the 15-day challenge is a great tool for you to launch your side hustle. Okay. So that's what I wanted to tell you. If you're part of already Herbalife Nutrition, get together with your sponsor, or reach out to one of us inside the Facebook page and say, hey, how do I do the 15-day challenge? You're just going to send the $15. You're going to fill out a form and you're in. It's that simple. okay? And then use that to participate. If you're not inside of Herbalife Nutrition and you would like to know more about it, reach out to us. We'll put you in contact. If somebody reached out, if somebody invited you to this, they're also going to be your point of contact. But if not, then reach out to us. We can definitely support you and we can get you on your way. So with that said, you guys, I hope this was, I don't know, I sure this was helpful in one way or another. Again, if you got one thing from the last 5 days to implement in your business, then I know for me and as well as Sylvia, it was worth this hour a day for the last 5 days. Okay. And so do you want to say something?
No, I just want to take, pretty much, I just want to, thank you all for, tuning in every single day, for your comments on our page, and we really look forward to have you join us in any of our other programs. Okay, I'm gonna believe that this is not gonna be our only business program. I'm truly gonna believe we're gonna have another one, and I'm predicting that it's gonna be maybe a longer program. And leave us a comment on the chat if you would like to see a longer program. Okay, but other than that, thank you guys so much, and that's it.
All right, guys, go ahead and get ready, get set, and go and launch your business. Bye-bye.
Bye.